Hello and welcome, my name's Sam and this is the Little Greenhouse Creates. Welcome to our stamp set of the week. It's only 2 cards this week, unfortunately. We weren't around on Monday because it was my birthday, so I was out for the day. But we're back to the grindstone today, and boy, isn't the weather here in the UK awful. The wind is howling, the rain is pouring, so where better to be than at your craft table to create most beautiful masterpieces. So I know I said no more Christmas cards, and this isn't a Christmas card. Well, it is, but it's not going to be. It's not what we're going to create. So this is a beautiful card which comes from the stamp set Classic Wedding. And I just wanted to show how versatile it was. So it's not just for a wedding. This stamp set can be for other things. So as I say, you could, if you want to, create it for a Christmas card. The presents that we've got here are from the reindeer stamp set. But otherwise, you could turn your card into a Christmas card. But today we're going to create it into a congratulations, you've passed your driving test. So by using this. Now it has 14 wonderful stamps. You've got the outline of the car, and then you've got the shaded area for the car. You've got hearts, you've got confetti, you've got foliage, cans to go at the back of the car for the wedding. This one here, now this one here took me for ages to work out what it was, where it went. It's actually the tyre filling for the tyres. So, and we've got a nice little banner here. So I have done, as usual, stamped out the images. So we've got 9 actual images and 5 sentiments. You've got to the happy couple, just married, congratulations, cheers, and on your wedding day. There are lots of suggestions out there for your viewing. If you pop over to Pinterest, you will see there are quite a few. I actually saw one genius person had turned it into a taxi. Well, I say a taxi, I say a British taxi. So that was quite good. So I suppose you could turn it into an American yellow taxi. But they had used it as a British taxi. So let's take this away and bring in my supplies. Okay, so we're going to use a pen. And we have got, let's have a look. I have got, put this aside, here we go. So I've got a piece of black cardstock, basic black cardstock, 8 inches by the 5 3/4. I have a layering piece of Pebble Path, which is 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. I then have 2 pieces of cardstock, both the same measurements, white, one for the inside, one for the outside, and that's 3 1/2 by 5 1/4. So let me just bring in. So we have got a piece of scrap, and it literally is a piece of scrap of excess card that I've got. It's shiny paper. You could use anything silvery that you might have. Just for the outline of the bumpers on the car. What else have I got? I have a scrap piece for stamping of the foliage. I have another piece of scrap paper for stamping something else on. And I have all the dies that I need to use. So these are the dies that come with the actual stamp set. Okay, so this here, this tiny little die here is for the rear lights. As it's got the foliage, you've got the bumper, you've got the handle for the boot, and you've got the window frame. Okay, so let's put those aside. We're also going to use a circle die, and this one is from the very popular, and for the life of me can't think what it's called, Spotlight on Nature dies. So I've used, I think this is the third smallest for this. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is take our piece of white cardstock, turn it to landscape, and I'm going to take the sentiment congratulations. This is from the Sweetly Scripted dies. You've seen me use this one before many times. So I'm going to take my basic grey and I'm just going to tap it along the line of the sentiment. I'm taking the ink pad to the stamp because it's so large. Okay, once you're happy that it's inked up, I'm going to put it as low down on the piece of paper as possible, and the reason being is by putting it down here, just when I put the car over the top, it will look like it's grounded. Okay, so then what I need to do is I need to bring in my, so I'm going to do the frame of the car first. Okay, so that's the frame, and then I've got this one which is the infill. Oopsie daisy. So this is the frame, so I'm just going to pop it down on the paper. Because it is a large stamp, it can wobble and misshape, so if you just pop it down, then put your block on the top and pick it up, you will get the correct shape. It's important for this because obviously when you come in with the infill, it needs to be able to fill the space. Okay, so using the black ink, I'm just going to go around my stamp. Again, because the stamp is so large, I'm bringing the ink pad to the stamp. Okay, I'm actually going to, she says, if I can see what I've done with it. Silence is golden. There it is. I put it on the side, so I'm going to bring in my pad just to give it a little bit more of a bounce for when I'm stamping this. Okay, so I'm going to put that there, and then I just want to make sure that it is straight. There you go. You see, you know it is a little greenhouse video because you can hear the dog barking. The wind is blowing and she does not like it. Okay, so that is the car. Then what I'm going to do now is bring in the infill for the car. So again, I'm just going to pop it down and take my block to it. And then I'm going to use Pebble Path as the infill. Again, ink pad to stamp. And what you will find is it does not colour the car in completely as you would expect. There's lots of shading and then dips, so don't think your stamp isn't working. It is how it's meant to be. Bring that down just a little bit further. Now your ink will cover just above the bumper line. I'm just going to make sure I've got everything in place. And straight down. And straight up. Okay, so you can see all the shading that comes into this. And that is how it's meant to colour. Okay. So the next thing to do is I have got the tyres. For the tyres, I am going to use the basic grey. Just going to stamp it on my ink pad. And I'm just going to check. I think we're going to go for the darker version. Okay, so let's pop that down. Stamp up my tyre. And then it just literally layers onto that one. Two. There we are. So the next thing for me to do is to bring in the colour for the windows. Now obviously you can leave these clear so you can see straight through, but I'm actually going to stamp off. Now what am I using here? I am using, I'm sure this is Daffodil Delight. Yes, it is. It's Daffodil Delight. I've stamped it off once, and now I'm going to stamp it over the window to give it some colour. There we are. And there, so far, is our car. Right, I'm going to pop that to the side, and I'm going to bring in my other 2 scraps so that I can do a bit more stamping. So this is the foliage that comes with the stamp set. Now when you stamp it out, it looks like it is a complete die, but it's not. When it cuts it into 2 pieces. So we need 4. Okay, so that's that one. And that I have stamped in garden green. I've then got this little cup, celebration cup. Now that comes from a stamp set that we had quite early on in the new annual catalogue. It is called Racing By, and it's this one down here that I'm using. But obviously you can use whatever you've got in your supplies. Oh, excuse me. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to stamp this in Poppy Parade. And I'm going to pop it on my piece of card. And then using my light Poppy Parade, I'm going to colour it in. Let's see what we got. So I'm just literally going to colour that in without any issues. Just no shading, all just one colour. There's no real shading on the actual cup, apart from maybe just down here. But because I'm using light Poppy Parade on Poppy Parade, I felt that using the dark might just blend the cup out, and I would lose the effect I was after. Okie dokie. There we are. So then I will run it through the die cutting machine with the circle. I have the dies for this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick those. They break into 4, and I stick them round the circle, like you know when you win a race, you get this what do they call it, trophy. So that's what that's going to be. I am then going to run my windscreen, my bumpers through the machine with my coloured card, and then I've got this little one which I'm going to run through some red card, and this will make my bumpers. To make life easier, I'm going to use adhesive sheets on the back of these so that it sticks quite well. So let's do that, move those aside, and by the magic of television I have got the bumpers, the windscreen, I have created and stuck down my trophy, I have the boot section of my car, and then I have these 2 rear lights for the car. So we can now bring back in our card. I'm going to get my pointy tool, she says. There we go. And then we're going to start building up. So the first thing I'm going to add is the window frame. As I said, I've put adhesive sheets on the back before I ran it through, which will make sticking the small details down a lot easier. Okay, so that's that one, and that just literally fills in here. Now obviously if you didn't want to buy the dies, you could just colour this section in by hand using pens. So the next thing to do is the handle to the boot of the car, and again I have used adhesive on the back of these. There we are. And then the last one is the bumper. There we go, that's one. There. And then that just literally slips onto, whoops, here like so. I have my 2 pieces of red for the lights. So it is a beautiful set of dies alongside the stamp set as well. The original reason for buying this particular stamp set and dies was because my daughter-in-law, my goddaughter, was getting married in November, and I just knew I wanted to use it as the stamp set for her wedding card. And at the end of the video I will stick by and you will see the card I created for her. But yes, I just felt that this was such a versatile stamp set. You could use it for lots of things, not just as a wedding card. So there's that. So this is the trophy, and what I'm thinking I could do is we could pop that there. You could pop it there. Whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on dimensional. So let's do that first, because I think that will help to decide where I'm going to actually pop it. So I'm going to give it 3. 1, 2, 3. So let's see. Does it fit better there? Like so. I think that actually works quite well like that. Let's just double check over here. Oh, decisions. No, I think I'm going to go for it on here. Okay, so let's take the backings off of this section. Obviously, we'll be back on Friday and it will be a funky fold. So do join me for that. There we go. So there is our champion. We can now layer that onto our pebble path. I'm going to use my multi-purpose. I was just about to say I have actually used this, so I know there is glue in there, but for some reason it is not coming out. Let's try this one. There we go. I don't mind, but I store my glues so that the glue runs to the tip, but for some reason they still don't want to run out, and then when they do, occasionally you can find it runs too much, but I still love it as a glue. Okay, so that's that one. It's now going to go on to my black cardstock, and for those of you that wish to score, it is at the 4-inch mark on the long side and the 8-inch side. Otherwise, just fold over and you can burnish with your bone folder. That can then sit onto there, like so. Oh, I do like that. I'm very pleased with that. And then we can put our inside layer, obviously, inside. There we are. That's quite, I feel that's quite a crisp, perfect card, and the dies just give it that extra little oomph. And this one will definitely be staying in my supply cupboard, because I can see lots of other things happening with this card. So there we go. There is our congratulations, you've passed your driving test card. And obviously our one before was our Christmas card. So this card will see you all year round, or this stamp set. So thank you ever so much for joining me today, and I look forward to catching up with you again very soon. As I say, be back on Friday, so see you then. Bye. This is the card that I created my goddaughter when she got married. It is a zigzag fold with a large facial piece, and the card is 3D. To see future videos, please click the like, follow and subscribe buttons. It helps me create more videos, and I would love to catch up with you very soon. Bye!